Okay, welcome everybody to our webinar on building application governance with PlatformManager, specifically for Qlik. So let's go ahead and look at what we're going to cover in this webinar. To start off, we're going to talk about the power of application governance, how PlatformManager handles data lineage, reload tests, and version control. We're going to have a great demo for you, showing you the true power and the potential of PlatformManager. We'll talk about some use cases, including a large-scale deployment at a utility company, and how developers and administrators are excelling in Qlik. So before we do that, let's talk a little bit about SME. Who are we? Well, we're a data analytics integration firm. We were founded in 2011 by our CEO, Chris Moyer, and we have services that include all sorts of BI integration, data governance, data literacy, project management, and we even do hosting. SME's network really covers a variety of different verticals. You can see here retail and entertainment, some of our past and current clients, energy and utility, which is where our CEO and founder Chris Moore got his start, which is in the utility vertical. FinServe, you got some professional services that we've worked with. Healthcare and life sciences, ag and manufacturing, and then finally, and last but not least, public sector and education for places like USF. So your hosts for this particular webinar are myself, Yorick, and Sergey. Now, I consider myself a bit of a data literacy specialist. It's what I focus on here at SME, as well as brand awareness and building brand awareness for SME. I was a local Tampa business owner for the past 8 years before joining SME about a year ago. And I'm a former firefighter, married 13 years, and I have a beautiful 8-year-old daughter. Yorick's an account manager. He's worked in IT for 4 years. He obviously also works for PlatformManager. One of the really cool things about York is he studied Chinese in Shanghai, which I think is extremely impressive. And he's worked with companies like Heineken, KPMG, Honda, HP, and Dell. Now, Sergey also works for SME. He's a solutions architect. He's certified in Qlik developer as a Qlik developer and trainer. He's got a degree in computer science and software engineering. And he's got a background in BI, full solution development, and Qlik deployment. Okay, so from here, let's go ahead and jump in and talk a little bit about PlatformManager before Yorick takes us into the demo. All right, one of the things that makes PlatformManager different is their ability to develop faster and deliver better quality. And they do this through an application lifecycle management solution, which does improve the deployment and improve quality, which allows business users to spend more time analyzing their data. And the cool thing is PlatformManager encourages collaboration, providing version control and deployment for apps, tasks, and extensions. And they also have some additional services that really simplifies the Qlik app development overall. And with version control, it's easy to restore, publish, change, and archive all your versions in your Qlik app. With PlatformManager, it's seamlessly integrated with Qlik, which makes it so easy to use. Reload tasks are another part that's really important, because now you can publish and reload your tasks from your Qlik server and publish them to all the servers you have. So it makes things really easy where you're not having to deal with difficulties from those tasks. So with data lineage, you have the ability to reload all your apps without worrying about app dependencies. So for instance, if you had like QBD files, databases, or Excel spreadsheets, PlatformManager can generate your dependency overview in development, which is fully automatic, and it's integrated with Qlik, so you end up with always up to date, and you're not really having to rely on logging as well. And then of course there's also extension mashups and widgets, where, you know, if you've ever had the experience where an app can show a gray area that was supposed to have visualizations from an extension, well, now you don't have to worry about it. There's no more apps with gray areas, because PlatformManager manages your extension mashups and widgets and only publishes the apps to produce when extensions exist on the Qlik server. So now you have a brief overview of PlatformManager. What I want to do now is turn over the mic and screen to Yorick, who's going to take you through a product demo.
So today I'm going to show you 3 of the main features in PlatformManager. First of all, I'm going to show you how you can work with multiple developers at the same application simultaneously. Secondly, I'm going to compare 2 versions of an app to show you the differences that we've made. And finally, I'm going to publish the app to our acceptance Qlik server. So let me start by checking out the application, the ourselves worldwide app. I'm logged in as myself. You can see my name here. I'm checking it out, and the Qlik Sense Hub is opened. Now I'm doing the same with a different user account, right, over here. So I'm going to do an edit here as well. And now you can see that I have the app open with two different accounts. So I'm going to create a new sheet over here. I'm going to call it demo. And on that sheet, I'm going to create a new chart, which is called a pie chart. And I'm going to just make it a little bit bigger. As dimension, I'm going to use the color, and as a measure, I'm going to count the customers. Okay, so that's it. If I would refresh it now on the right side, you can see that the demo sheet is here as well, and it also shows the pie chart that we just created. So on the right side, I'm now going to go into the load editor, and I'm going to add a data source in here. So let me just go over here, select a data source that we've had. So from here, I'm going to select the available flights Excel sheet to be added, and to insert that, and that's it for now. So I'm closing both Qlik Sense environments, going back to PlatformManager, perform a check-in as my colleague's name. I'm not going to do anything in comments or so. So that's done already. I'm going back to myself. You can see that I've still checked it out here, so I'm going to perform a check-in here as well. Again, specify nothing. And now what happens is the file is checked in. That means it's stored in the metadata repository as well. So this basically completes the change process. So what we can do now is we can go into the app and we can run the difference analysis. So as you can see, there's a new version that was created, and we can now run a difference analysis. And this basically shows all the changes that were made between these two versions. So it only shows the changes. So looking into the script, we can see that there's a new load statement that was created by one of the developers. And if we go to the sheets, then we can see there's a new sheet called demo, which has a pie chart. If I click on that one, I can see the individuals, so the dimension and the measure that are actually used in the pie chart. So that's basically what the difference analysis looks like. So now that we're confident that only the changes that we made are actually made to the application, we can publish this to our acceptance environment. So how that works is quite simple. The only thing we need to do is we need to assign a version number, which helps us to identify the different version of the service that we have. Let's make this a minor change, which means the second number is increased. I can again type in some comments here. I assign the version number, and the next thing I'll do is I'll publish this to acceptance. I'm just going to show you very quickly the promotion structure for this application. So we're currently in development, which is the green section over here, and we can see that we've moved it to acceptance and production, into the cars project, and into the marketing project. So I'm going to override this in our acceptance environment. So I'm going to publish this, and I'm going to do that in the cars project and in marketing, of course. Now the next step allows me again to specify a comment, and I can pick a checklist that I want to use in acceptance. And then the final step that we have allows us to map the data connections that we have in our application. So looking into that, you can see that we have two data connections for each application. We can map them in each individual Qlik Sense server, and we have a different color coding. So green means that this connection has already been mapped to a connection, so we don't need to look into that. And blue means that we've actually haven't mapped that before, but PlatformManager was capable of finding probably the right connection that you want to use. So you can use that. If you don't want to use that, you can select any of the other connections that we have. These basically come from your Qlik Sense server. And you can do that individually for each environment. So I can do it over here as well. So I can have different mappings for different ClickSense servers. And that's basically all that you need to do to publish an app to your acceptance environment. So let's check now if the app was published. We can see that in the overview here that version 2.4.0.21 has been published to the two acceptance environments. And I can now navigate to that environment by just clicking the hyperlink. The app is already highlighted. You can see on the left side that I have access to acceptance and production, of course based on the rights that I have. And now I can actually perform a view. If I want to see the app in my own ClickSense environment, I can do that, and I can view the app. I can see if it's working correctly, and so on and so forth. So when we're confident that the app is ready to go into production, we'll go back to Platform Manager and we'll work our way through the checklist. So for now, this checklist has just a single task, which is basically, did I test the item against production data? Now, I just did that, so that's okay. I approve that step. You can see that the state of the item immediately changes to approved. I press OK, and that means that I'm now ready to go to move the app to production. So it works the same way. For now, I'm just going to use the auto promote function, right? So pressing next, and that's basically all you need to do. So in fact, whenever you have to publish an app, you can always use auto promote, which means that you don't have to go through all the different steps in the wizard. So the promotion to production has now also succeeded, so we can see that the version is in the production environment, and we can navigate there and see that the version actually is in the production server. Now, assuming that we've made a mistake, so we've overlooked an issue that's inside the app, and we'd like to go back to the previous version, that's quite simple as well, because we can just open the versions that we have, and then we can select the previous version from here, and we can run restore. That means that we're restoring the previous version, and that will also be the version that will be synchronized to the ClickSense server. So the restore is now finished, and we look into the item. We can still see that version 21 is available, but version 14, which is green and italic, is the one that actually has been synchronized to the ClickSense server. So that's the version that your business users will be looking into. So that's it for now. If you want to see more about our solution, you can visit our website at www.platformmanager.com.
Okay, thanks, Yerk. I really appreciate it. That was a great demo. And now what I want to do is turn the video mic over to Sergey, who's going to walk us through some use cases.
Thank you, Brian. Here are some examples of use cases for Platform Manager that helped our client with a large group of developers in different departments and admins in the context of a Qlik deployment. But most of these are equivalent to a ClickSense deployment as well. From the perspective of the developers, they finally have version control. Previously, tracking changes in their apps was done with a comment block for the changelog, which was completely up to the developer's opinion on how detailed of a description they wanted to write out about the change. With Platform Manager, now they have versions that they can check in with a comment, but also every single little change can be compared between any two versions of an app that was checked in. So now the developer would just need to briefly describe the purpose of a change, maybe even just associate it with a change request number and a very short description of a comment for their check-in. The rest of the details of those changes is handled by Platform Manager. Platform Manager helps devs prevent stepping on each other's toes. There were cases when separate developers would get the change request for the same app at the same time. I witnessed several times this leading to the devs overriding each other's work simply because they were unaware that somebody else was also working on the same app as them. In Platform Manager, a developer checks out an app to work on, and while the app is checked out, it can be checked out by another developer. And Platform Manager shows you who's currently working on the app. The developers also don't need to keep making their own backups of the app they're working on, since Platform Manager allows them to check out any other previously checked in or imported versions of the app. From the perspective of the admins, their lives are now much simpler in terms of promoting apps from development to QA and to production. Code review is a breeze, as they can view the entire code in plain text right in Platform Manager without the need to open the app anymore and go tab by tab through the script of an app. They can compare the script and any of the front end changes between different versions of an app. So Platform Manager will point out to the admins that this one section of the script was modified and that chart was shifted 30 pixels to the right for some reason. Migrating or promoting it in app is much simpler as Platform Manager copies over the files for the admins, so no need to manually copy the apps. Another big headache is resolved with Platform Manager by allowing admins to promote whole releases. It occurred fairly frequently that on a larger app deployment, the dev would forget to mention a transformation step that they had to modify somewhere upstream from the user-facing app. And without migrating that transformation step change, the final app breaks in production. With Platform Manager release promotion, it grabs the entire deployment that shows up in the lineage of the app. So for cases of three-tier development, all three tiers are swept up by the release. And the admins don't need to chase down the upstream apps in tier 1 and 2 manually anymore. Platform Manager does that by looking at metadata of each app and establishes a lineage or relationship between the apps and pieces of data. In general, Platform Manager helps them with the governance of their apps. The devs still have the freedom to try something out in the development server, see if their proof of concept holds up, and only then import a working dev copy of an app into Platform Manager. So the repository that's kept in Platform Manager is clean, preventing the wild west of developing copies, version 1 through 37, for the admins to siphon through. To mention data lineage is a great feature of Platform Manager again. It allows them to find redundancies in data extraction. Having multiple siloed groups of developers in separate departments, it was a huge problem having many apps hitting the same data source for the exact same data. Not only that, but also more novice devs doing extractions directly from the user-facing apps, despite the established three-tier development convention that they have. Platform Manager provides visibilities for these situations, allowing devs and admins to clearly see if an app is pulling data from a database when it should be pulling only from QVDs. This visibility helps address those redundancies in hitting the original data sources, as well as showing which apps would be affected by some changes upstream. Thank you very much. I'm passing back to Brian.
I appreciate it, Sergey. All right, so what we're going to do from now is we're going to switch over and answer a couple of questions about Platform Manager that have come in during this webinar. And hopefully everybody watching this is now thinking, what could Platform Manager do for my organization? But there are a couple questions that came in that I want to make sure we touch on before we finish up for today. So the first one that came in was, can Platform Manager handle task migration as well? And for a ClickSense deployment, Platform Manager can handle task migrations already. If you happen to be using ClickView, this functionality should be released within the upcoming version. The second question that came in is, what if a developer checks out an app and never checks it back in? And the answer to this is, well, admins can force an unlock on a checkout manually, so that can be taken care of without a problem. And the third question was, if I don't have a QA, can I promote it from dev to prod directly? Well, before I answer this, I'll say we all strongly recommend that you do have a QA stage. But in Platform Manager, you establish your own promotion path with any number of stages that you'd like. So those are just 3 of the questions. And before I let you guys go, I just want to talk about ways that you can connect with us here at SME. You can always reach out to us on our website, which is smesgroup.com. You can reach us on LinkedIn you can see the link up there, or just search for SMES Group. We're local in the Tampa Bay area, so if you happen to be in this part of the neck of the woods or in Central Florida, please, do reach out and connect with us. We'd love to meet you. And you can always reach out to us via email at info@smesgroup.com. And with that, I will say thank you for hanging out with us today on behalf of myself, York, and Sergey, and hope you guys have a great day.